I know it's very, very difficult still and very raw for you talking about your parents. Both killed in that Manchester bombing. Your father was 42, your mother just 39, and you were there with your younger sister at the concert, and they were waiting for you in the foyer. What do you make of Shamima Begum's comments there?
I mean, I think she's comparing two things that shouldn't ever be compared. I think she's saying that there's fighters who are in the Islamic State getting killed, and she's comparing that. You know, those people go there knowing what to expect. They sacrifice their lives, and they know what could happen. People who went to the Manchester Arena, they went there to take the kids to a concert. They went there thinking they were going to get home that night and took the kids into bed. And they would never expect that something like that would happen. So I think she's out of order comparing those two things.
Yeah, and what a night that should have been happiness and joy for you and your younger sister. You bought the tickets months in advance.
And many other people.
Yeah, and many other people, of course. Can you tell us or explain what happened on the evening as regards the explosion and your parents and how they were caught up in it?
Yeah, so the concert went on, the whole concert finished, and then there was a muffled sound. It was really, really muffled. I would have never said it was anything of that sort. Then we were told it was a light malfunction, then it was something else, and then as soon as we were evacuated, it was pretty obvious it was what it was because of the smell and the I mean, you couldn't see anything. And once we'd got outside, immediately I tried to call my mum, I tried to call my dad, and I didn't get anywhere. So then immediately I kind of had a feeling. We were then evacuated to a hotel. After which, one of my mum's friends had actually picked me up from Manchester and took us home.
Which is where York?
York, yeah. Then we returned to Manchester the next day.
So this was just you and your dad's, one of your dad's friends?
One of my dad's friends,
so you left your sister at home?
Yeah, we did, yeah. And we just went to look at different hospitals to see whether they had any unidentified people, to see if we could find them, basically. I mean, I didn't want to do it because I had that gut feeling. So all I wanted to do was go home. And it was more than 24 hours afterwards that we actually found out.
You were all told to go to the Etihad Stadium?
Yeah, so we were taken to the Etihad Stadium. We waited there for hours on end. And I think it was maybe just before midnight that we actually had somebody come in, had some police come in, had some psychologists come in with them, and that's when they said that. And even then, they weren't 100%. They said 99%. So even then, it wasn't, you know. So then I had to go home and wake my sister up and tell her before she found out, you know, any other way.
Now, you are a young woman. It was just striking me that you and Shamima Begum, similar ages, right? Totally different experiences, and you've seen those interviews, you've seen how she's responded, and she's someone who's really on a different planet from you. She's indoctrinated, and she believed at the time that attack was justified because she was witnessing similar airstrikes on people that she knew. You obviously differentiate between the people in the Manchester Arena, the 22, including your mum and dad, and the people that she knew. What would you say to her directly, woman to woman?
I mean, she's made a bed, hasn't she? I think she should just remain where she is. I mean, for starters, I don't think she's been honest. I think the only reason she would like to come back is because she couldn't stay where she was. I mean, she's admitted herself that she had a good life there. She said herself that the only reason that she's wanting to leave there was because it got too dangerous. She enjoyed it there. So I think, what is the point of coming back if you enjoy it so much there?
What has life been like for you and your younger sister, Patricia, since this all happened?
I've just had to grow up overnight, but it came very naturally. There wasn't any other option, so there was no other contemplations of what I should do. It was kind of autopilot the whole way. And I mean, we're used to it now. We just live our lives, we get on. I mean, the whole thing has kind of brought it back up, obviously. But we just get on as we are.
Well, I'm sure your parents will be very, very proud of everything you're doing for your sister and yourself. I know you did get some help funding-wise from the Manchester Emergency Fund, which was donations from people. How much has that helped you?
That's helped, I mean, a huge amount. We were in a rented house before, which my whole wage didn't actually cover just the rent itself. So the money that had been raised really massively helped with buying a house, so we don't have to worry about stuff like rent. So we're kind of set up for the future.
Well, you know, your community, I know, rallied around you as well, which meant a lot. And I haven't met anybody in the real world who thinks Shamima Begum should be given another chance and should come back here. However, I do switch on the radio and television and I hear apologists for her and I hear spokespeople who say that, yeah, you know, she should be given another chance. The truth is, no matter what any politician says, there's very little they can do if someone decides to pay her fare or get her back, as long as she gets a passport and whatever. She could well be back in this country. Obviously, people don't want her here. People do think there has to be a price to pay for what she did. Do you think she needs a reality check?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think this country, there's already so many questions whether this country did enough to stop the suicide bomber at Manchester. And I don't think this country can afford for more risk towards the people of this country.
Okay, Alex, thank you for speaking to us. We're so sorry for your pain and your loss, and we're full of admiration how you've got on with your life and how you're looking after your little sister, Patricia.
Thank you.
Through this, she's only 14 now. He was 12 then. Your comments, Alana says, this woman is delusional, meaning Shamina. How can she call something so horrific like the Manchester attacks fair justification? Send her to prison, quiz her like a terrorist. Karen, her view on the Manchester attacks are appalling. Emma, she's a dangerous individual who we need to make an example of. What a slap in the face it is for all those parents and family who lost children and loved ones during the attack. And it just goes on and on and on.
People like you. Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For talking to us today.